Welcome to the Daily Influence, where our mission is to deliver a daily dose of positive influence that can uplift you personally or be shared within your sphere of influence. While not every episode may directly apply to your unique circumstances, we strive to provide insights and inspiration relevant to most people's daily, weekly, and monthly lives. Whether you are tuning in during the morning, noon, or night, the Daily Influence is here for you. Listen, share, and embrace the power of influence in your life.
Welcome to Daily Influence. I'm Gregg-Brooke Koleno. Today I'm honored to have Erin Wilson with us. Erin is the founder of the law office of Erin Wilson, LLC, a firm dedicated to guiding families through some of life's most challenging transitions with compassion and integrity. With a deep commitment to ethical family law and advocacy, Erin empowers individuals to navigate legal matters with confidence and clarity. Today we'll explore her journey, the impact of responsible influence in the legal field, and how she strives to make a difference in people's lives. Erin, welcome to Daily Influence.
Hi, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Erin, could you share a bit about your background and what led you to where you are today with our listeners?
Sure. So I'm a family law attorney, which means I work with clients within the context of divorce, custody, child support. Also, we do prenuptial agreements, which are sort of the fun side of what we do. But it can get messy and, it's very emotional. So we really try and approach this individually and helping people, on their journeys, giving them independence and really putting children first. So I think in terms of what led me to this field is wanting to help kids who were, their family were going through a divorce. I was really interested in the psychological side of things, how divorce impacted children from a psychological perspective, and I actually wanted to study psychology, thinking that that was the path I wanted. But in exploring through high school and a little bit early in college, really I learned that being a lawyer and becoming ultimately a guardian ad litem was a way to have more of an impact on children. And so that was the path that I took, was going to law school. I did study psychology in college, but I took my path towards law school, focused on family law, and that's what I'm doing now.
Great. Well, thank you for sharing that. As you mentioned in family law, emotions often run high. How do you balance being a strong advocate for your clients while ensuring that you promote responsible and ethical influence in legal proceedings?
Like I said, we really focus on the kids, and we're not a yes firm, is what I like to say. I tell people when they interview us as clients, I'm not going to tell you everything you want to hear, and I'm not going to greenlight everything you want to do. And if that means you don't want to work with us, that's okay. There's some firms that really just go along with everything their clients want. And ultimately, the clients do make the decisions, right? But we're really, really going to counsel them quite heavily about thinking about the family, the future, the children, and how what they're doing impacts the children. That's our number one priority in our cases. Obviously, we're looking out for our clients. We're giving our clients advice, but that advice really is with a mindset of how it impacts the family and the future and co-parenting, right? Because this can be messy, this can be tough, but they have to parent together for the next, and it's not just till they're 18, right? People say, oh, got to get through it till they're 18, but it's not. You have to show up at college graduation. You have to walk those children down the aisle. You have to be grandparents. You have all this in the future that they may not think about. And so that's the perspective that we try and bring.
That's a great perspective. Can you tell us about a moment or experience where you felt you made a positive impact on someone's life, whether through your work or in personal capacity?
So I do a lot of guardian ad litem work, which means I get appointed by the courts to do an investigation and make recommendations for children. And I think that sometimes there are difficult relationships. A lot of times there's difficult relationships that children have with their parents, whether because of things the parents have done, all different reasons. And I think that from my perspective, I really try and think about what's best for these kids. Is having a relationship with the parents best? How can we do that? What therapeutic resources can we use? So I lean heavily on the therapy teams that I work with. And, sometimes parents need a break too. Parents need to heal. Parents need to do their own work. And maybe the kids may need a break while their parents are healing. And so I feel like, my perspective is that I'm trying to think about what's best for these kids. And Is it with the parents? Is there a break that's needed? Do we need to do reunification therapy? Do we need to do strong intensive therapy? So I feel like thinking through, it's not just me as a lawyer, me as a guardian ad litem, but really a team approach and bringing in professionals. And I think that's the best way to make an impact, is to work with other professionals that you trust that can help the family. I guess you also asked in terms of professionally. So one thing I'll say is I'm really a big advocate of young women in the legal field. And so, when we were coming up, there was some not so great behavior happening with men towards younger women. And as a result of some of the things that my colleagues and I had gone through as young attorneys, we created a couple different groups for younger women. One is called Associate Lady Lawyers. And so we first have a group called Lady Lawyers Who Lunch, which is, family law professionals who are all solo and small firm female owners. And of that, we created an offshoot of Associate Lady Lawyers. And that's to give these younger women a safe space that have strong female advocates for them as they're working in law firms, maybe bigger firms, smaller firms. So I'm really proud of that. And also a group called FLASH, which is the Force of Lawyers Against Sexual Harassment. And that's really what it is, right? Let's take a stand against sexual harassment in the legal field. It's something that way too many of us experienced as young lawyers, and we don't want that to happen anymore to the younger generation. So I'm really proud of those groups that I've really helped found and create.
That's great and so wonderful that you created those. You mentioned that the legal profession often requires collaboration with colleagues, clients, and even opposing counsel, therapists. How do you foster a spirit of teamwork and constructive dialogue when what sometimes can be an adversarial environment?
It's such a great question, because I really think that my contemporaries look at this a little bit differently than maybe former generations. Clients want an aggressive attorney. They want someone who's a bulldog, things like that. And I definitely have a reputation at times for being aggressive, but I want to be friendly with my opposing counsels. I want to be on the same page. I want to work together. Like, I don't want to be running into court to litigate every issue. And, when clients find out, oh, you're friends with your opposing counsel, I'm like, you should want that. That means we can have a really candid conversation, kind of peel those layers of the onion, figure out how can we get this done in the most productive, effective, collegial way possible. And so I really, if the other side doesn't have a lawyer and is looking for a lawyer, I always offer 3 names of attorneys that I know are going to do a good job and that we can get along with, because the best thing is for the attorneys to get along and to not fight, because these people are already likely fighting, right? There's already a lot of bad blood between the parties, and it just makes it so much worse when the lawyers don't get along. And so, really just encouraging clients to understand everyone should try and work together, not play games, not turn over your discovery, for example, or whatever games people want to play. Let's just lay it out there. This is what there is, and this is how to get this done. Also, again, bringing in experts, bringing in professionals, bringing in therapists, bringing in accountants, bringing in, financial advisors, anyone who's going to help based on the issues in the case, and working together as a team.
That's great advice. Thank you for sharing that. I wish all family attorneys shared that same mindset as you.
It would make it so much easier.
Yeah. What are some of the biggest lessons you've learned in your career that have shaped how you lead, both in your practice and your interactions with clients?
Again, just trying to lift each other up, right? Like, when I was a young associate, if my opposing counsel was frustrated with me, they would go to my boss and complain. But they never went to my boss when I did a good job, or when we were getting along, or when things were going well, which was most of the time, right? Most of the time was good. And you're always going to have those couple of people that it doesn't go well with. And so I made a really big point that if there's a young associate who's doing a good job on a case, I'm going to go to their boss, to their partner, and say, hey, Jen's doing a great job on this case. Audrey's fantastic to work with, whatever it is, right? And kind of bringing other people up. In a similar vein, when I'm a guardian ad litem and I'm working with 2 lawyers, I always want to report to the court, hey, we're doing a great job together. These lawyers are really working hard for their clients. They're really understanding how to put the children first. And so I think just complimenting to anyone in a position of authority, whether it's a judge, whether it's a boss, really trying to compliment others and let their skills shine. And it's not about you, right? Like, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to do as good of a job as I can. But I want to point out when other people are doing that, because I think that that just leads to a lot of positivity.
That's really great advice. Thank you for sharing that. Erin, what message or words of encouragement would you like to share with our listeners who aspire to make a positive difference in their world, whether in their profession or their personal lives?
I think it's to lift each other up. Right. I think if you're encouraging and positive and helpful to other people and you're trying to promote others, then it's all going to come back to you. Like, it's not a competition. No gatekeeping. Someone I really respect always says there's no gatekeeping, right? Just like share the information you have, share the knowledge you have, and help others, because then when you need help, people are going to be really, really willing and able to help you in return. So like, just give the knowledge that you have freely and don't try and be protective of it. Don't think there's competition, right? Like, I'm not in competition with other lawyers. There's plenty of business to go around, and I'm going to spread the wealth around. If someone comes to me, they need referrals, I'm happy to give that. So I think just lifting each other up in any way possible.
That's great advice, Erin. Thank you for sharing it. If our listeners wanted to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do so?
Sure. So you can go on my website or send me an email. So my website is ewilsonfamilylaw.com. And my email address is Erin, ERIN, at ewilsonfamilylaw.com. So if you reach out to me by email on my website, I'm really responsive. I work a lot. So I think that's one of the things that people really like about our office is we are very responsive. We're very engaged. And we truly just want to help families get through this difficult time and do so really thinking about the big picture, about the family, about the children. That's really what our firm focuses on. So, yeah.
We'll put that information in the show notes. Erin, thank you so much for joining us today on Daily Influence. I'm so grateful that your clients have you to help them through a difficult time.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for listening to Daily Influence. If today's episode inspired you, share it with someone who could use a little positivity. And don't forget to like and follow the show so you never miss an episode. Have a great day and keep spreading the positivity. Bye-bye.